Did you know there are 83.7 million families in the United States alone? Each family is still managing to have their own family dynamic and set of communication skills. By conducting my ethnography of my whole household, the three main communication variables that emerged were conflict, media effects, and family roles in communication. All of my observations took place within my house, and I observed my siblings and my parents. Anthony is my 22-year-old brother. He lives at home, doesn't work, isn't in school. My Destiny is my 20-year-old sister. She lives at home and is a college student majoring in liberal studies. While Samantha is my 15-year-old sister, and she's a sophomore in high school. Dominic is my youngest brother. He is 10 and is in 4th grade. Melanie is my mom. She is 39 and is a psychiatric nurse for adolescents. While my dad, Keenan, he's also a psychiatric nurse, but for adults. My first variable that emerged through my observations was conflict. Rothwell defines conflict as the expressed struggle of interconnected parties who perceive incompatible goals and inference from one or more parties in obtaining these goals. With him emphasizing problems need to be expressed to both parties, a lot of the conflict observed in my house was through nonverbal communication, which Freud describes as behaviors and characteristics that convey meaning without the use of words. An example of this being between Anthony and Destiny. Anytime Anthony would walk into a room, Destiny would walk away. Anytime Anthony would speak directly to Destiny, she would not answer him. Through not actively saying she has a problem with him, her behavior suggests that the tension and conflict is there. Another example of conflict in my house is between Destiny, my mom, and Sammy. Destiny and my mom constantly talk bad about Sammy through her grades, not sleeping enough, not showering enough, and even her boyfriend, which leads to Sammy isolating in her room. Now, Freud says our nonverbal behaviors communicate emotion much more effectively. So though Sammy is not actively saying she has a problem and there's tension between them, her hiding away shows that she is hurt and the conflict is clearly there. The second variable that emerged through my observation was family roles and communication. Typically, family roles follow a general stereotype of who plays what role in a household, while each family needs to modify it to fit their own needs. In my household, Destiny can be seen as the caretaker and the mediator. With both parents constantly at work, she is the one that cooks and cleans for the rest of the siblings, and she tries to mediate the conflict in the house. An example of this being on Thanksgiving, when she tells all of the younger siblings not to talk to my mom when she gets home from work about what happened with Anthony earlier that day, because she was going to already be upset and we didn't need more conflict in the house. Next, Dominic, my younger brother, he'd be more of a distractor in the house because he says the randomest things to change the topic when he senses the tension, and he tries just to distract others of what's actually going on. While Anthony, my older brother, would be more of a blamer in the house because he doesn't own up to his actions and tries to blame others in the house for why he did what he did. Finally, my dad, Keenan, he would be more of a computer because he tries to face problems with more of a logic-based than emotion-based. He says he deals with emotions all day at work, so let's try something else in the house. My final variable would be media effects. Through my observations, media consumption was a large piece of time through each individual's day, which clearly affected the conversation and communication within the house and to each other. Verdibiel describes conversations as interactive, logically managed, sequentially organized, an interchange of thoughts and feelings between two or more people. With that being said, conversation is not something seen within my house because it's not organized and it's not structured. An example of this being my younger siblings, Sammy and Dominic, they both lack those conversation skills through constant consumption of media through TikTok specifically. With both of them always on their phones watching TikTok, all of their communication comes through random phrases and snippets of TikTok audios. They have lost that ability to hold an actual conversation with anyone else in the house. At the start of my observations, I was worried that out of the 83.7 million families in the United States, only mine struggled to communicate efficiently. Well, that is far from the reality now. Communication happens in every aspect of life, and it's something most people aren't even aware it's happening. And that's exactly what was happening with my own family. Through our conflict, media effects and the family roles in our communication, my family has learned a way to communicate that works for them. Why it might not work for other people, it's what works for us.